All right. It's 1 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Eastern, and 11 a.m. Pacific on this Labor Day Eve, Sunday, August 31st. I am Wes, the creator and co-host and social media manager of this podcast called Twin Cities Trekkies, a Star Trek podcast talking about everything from the original Star Trek all the way to Star Trek Strange New Worlds and everything in between. Um, And this is live episode number 6, talking about the latest episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Season 3, Episode 8, 4.5 Vulcans. Um, Before we get into this episode, I want to let you guys know that the live chat is open, so feel free to jump in the chat and say hello. And to get in touch with us other ways as well, you can find us on every social media platform. Facebook is TC Trekkies Pod. Instagram is Twin Cities Trekkies Pod. And you can find us on Blue Sky. When you search out TC Trekkies, the banner should read Twin Cities Trekkies Podcast. You can also do an email to us by going to tctrekkiespodcast@gmail.com. And you can feel free to send us an email with anything you'd like to say. So I see one person already in the chat. Hello. Join us live. Hello. So let's get into it. But before we get into that, I want to take a moment of silence to remember the victims of the Annunciation Catholic school shooting that happened on this past week here in Minneapolis. So bear with me for 30 seconds. All right. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to mourn those victims of this recent school shooting here in Minneapolis. So it is very sad. But I know I haven't done episode 98 yet, folks. I also want to say thank you to everybody who gave well wishes to my wife, Holly, who had surgery 10 days ago. So I just want to let you guys know, thank you so much. She's doing a lot better, and she'll be off work until the middle of September. Yes, hi Ed. Yes, she is feeling a lot better. So I appreciate that. Yeah, she is feeling a lot better. Yeah, it was crazy to see that. Yeah, it was definitely a trying week last week. So, like I said, episode 98, I'm going to try to do it this week. I'm probably going to try to record it for tomorrow while Labor Day is going on and try to release it on Friday. So the review schedule for Strange New Worlds is a little bit off. Episode 98, we'll be talking about what is Starfleet and the 4 or 5 pitches. Oh, hi, James. Hi. Hi. Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Hi, James. Good to see you again. Good to see from you again. So, yeah, that's great. I'm glad to have more than one person, and I have to thank Ed for that. Because I was on his podcast, his new podcast, boosting the signal. So I had gotten a couple more subscribers to the YouTube channel as a part of it. So yeah, of course, Ed. I like to shout out fellow Star Trek podcasters. Yeah, James is actually the co-host of Talk Through Media's Read Binge It. So right now they just started season 4 of Voyager. So I'm actually excited they're going through it because they went through one of my favorite episodes a few weeks ago, Real Life, and I have not had a chance to listen to it yet, but I really want to listen to it because Real Life is actually one of my favorite episodes of Voyager. and it's not. And everything about it is awesome. I mean, the science stuff is cool, but the main part is the character growth for Robert Picardo's the Doctor. So that is going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, yeah. So I said I was on boosting the signal. We had some audio issues and video streaming issues while we were doing that. Oh, thank you, Ed. I appreciate that. He said I just watched Real Life yesterday and thought of you. Oh, that's nice to hear. I'm glad to hear that. Um, I'm glad to hear that. So, I think we could probably do it again sometime soon. Do a redoing of it. There's only like 22 minutes of his podcast that was salvageable. So, but I had actually gotten a couple more subscribers to this YouTube channel from his pod. So, yes, next time I'll come on your show. Yes, you'll be coming on my show, Ed, and we'll definitely have a more interesting conversation regarding Star Trek and stuff like that. Because, yeah, that's why I like that. I say we'll cross advertise. Yes, that's what I like about doing Star Trek podcasting because it's a collaborative community, and that's why I really do enjoy doing podcasting with other people. Is because even if they're podcasters or not podcasters, they can shout out what they do for, social media wise, or if they do a podcast to talk about Star Trek, or like I had a Star Wars podcaster on earlier this year talking about Deep Space Nine. So, but he was a Star Trek fan first and foremost. Wow, Ed. Wow. He said, I had the next 9 weeks already set up for my show. That is awesome. That is awesome, Ed. Yeah, that is awesome to hear because I actually have to get my schedule back up and running because I have 9 more episodes of my Voyager celebration I want to get to by the end of the year. So, and I want to do that. But that's great, Ed. I'm glad to hear that. So, yeah. I'm shouting out boosting the signal because he just started this earlier in August, and I was his second guest. So I hope you guys get a chance to watch that video or listen to it on your favorite podcast platform, and listen to be a part of this conversation too. Be a part of Twin Cities Trekkies as well. Eventually down the line. Actually. Still disappointed that this country's Comic-Con did not have Voyager panels. Yes, that is actually disappointing, James. But like I said, yeah, it is disappointing that San Diego Comic-Con didn't celebrate 30 years of Voyager. But then again, it's not necessarily a start. Yeah, San Diego Comic-Con. Yeah, they definitely missed a boat on that. But it's not necessarily it's celebrating all of pop culture. It's not just Star Trek. It's not just sci-fi. It's not just fantasy. But I'm sure they had a few Voyager-specific panels at STLV. I mean, I wasn't there, but I'm assuming they probably did something for the 30th anniversary of Voyager. Yeah, they had a cast reunion, I remember, at STLV. With most of the cast of Voyager at STLV. I saw pictures of it. I follow Jessie, aka Crusher Convo, on social media because she's been on my show, and she shared a bunch of pictures from that as well. Oh, my wife's in the background, so she's giving me a soda. So yeah, that's my wife in the background. Yeah, she's waving. But yeah. But yeah. You got shout out, Holly. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. James says no, visitor was promoting her book, but we didn't get a chance to see her. That's disappointing. I actually want to read her book. Yeah. You got another hi. But that's okay. Yeah, I want to read her book. I do want to read her book eventually. So But definitely that. Speaking of Voyager, I had signed myself up to do, hopefully do a Voyager panel at this year's Twin Cities Con, which is actually, oh, I asked for the book for the holidays. We'll see how that goes. Oh, yeah, maybe I can ask my wife to get that for me too. Maybe. I don't know. But she did give me Patrick Stewart's autobiography a couple years ago for Christmas. So um, I haven't got a chance to read that one yet either. So, and I just recently bought the Mr. Spock autobiography by Una McCormack. So, but definitely, but yeah, hopefully get to do a panel. Yeah, this is actually the first time at Twin Cities Con I'm gonna try to do. I've been at Convergence the last couple of years, so and I was just a panelist this past summer. Um, and I recorded all the panels I was on. They're all episodes of Twin Cities Trekkies. Episodes number 94 through 96 are recordings from Convergence. And so I found out you can actually put yourself out for a panel suggestion at Twin Cities Con, which is actually the first full weekend in November at the Minneapolis Convention Center. And I remember I had signed myself up to do a Voyager panel. So hopefully I will know sometime next month if I am going to be a part of that. But if I don't get to do that, I probably still will go. I will probably just do something like the press kind of thing, like because I report from Twin Cities Con because there are a few Star Trek voice actors who are going to be there. I think if I'm not mistaken, but I know there will be. I think there's one for sure would be there in November. So, but people I'm actually looking forward to. The person I'm not looking forward to is not related to Star Trek at all. His name is Mark Summers. In case everyone doesn't remember him, he was the host of Double Dare and History IQ and Win Tuition on Game Show Network, and was the announcer for the revival, for the 2018 revival of Double Dare. And also he was the host of Food Network's Unwrapped. So that's the person I'm actually looking forward to meeting the most, actually, Mark Summers. So yeah, I hope I get to see him too, because yeah, I saw that he was going to be there, and I was going like, you know what? If I can't do a Star Trek panel at Twin Cities Con, I'm still going to go get an autograph from Mark Summers, because he is actually one of my favorite game show hosts of all time. I mean, granted, the GOAT for me is always going to be, for me personally, is Alex Trebek, and unfortunately, he's no longer with us. But and then same with Bob Barker and other game show hosts. So, but I hope you get to see him. Yes, I do hope you get to see him. So I'm hoping that I can do the Voyager panel at Twin Cities Con, but I remember talking to one of the people at the booth at Convergence, told him like I signed myself up to do that, and he go like, "Oh, that's really unique. We'll probably accept that." So I guess we'll find out. I should probably know probably mid September. I think that's when it was. I'm not sure, but yeah. So I do want to talk about the episode quick, but about Strange New Worlds quick, because I have a lot to say about it. And but I also want to mention the fact that I have 9 more Voyager episodes planned. I just need to get on the ball and trying to get them recorded, and get the guests all situated and stuff like that. I have people like Jody from was it Cone Star? I have what's his name? Joe and Nicole from Deep Space Love. I also have some other people as well from Star Trek: The Undiscovered Podcast who want to be a part of it. And I think that's pretty much it. And I know there's going to be some changes in what they wanted to do, but like I said in my little form, I said I I'm gonna try to honor their first choice, but unfortunately, I looked through it and I'm going like, some of them are gonna have to be changed. So that's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to get on the ball and say, hey, we're gonna do the Borg with this person and Harry Kim with someone else. And I know there's some people who want to talk about. There's one person who wants to talk about Neelix, and one person wants to talk about Harry Kim. One person wants to talk about the Doctor. But the one I'm really looking forward to is actually the comparisons between Voyager and Prodigy. So that was the one I think that was going to be the best one. I mean, granted, I haven't done an episode for Voyager in 4 months because I had a bike accident and I'm all fully healed. So, but I just need to get on the ball. And I'll have room for a couple of non-Voyager episodes the rest of the year. If I do 3 for the rest of the year, yeah. James says Prodigy, aka Voyager: The Next Generation. Yes, I actually like that, and I like that very much, and I like that idea. Yeah, I like that. I like that much. I like that title. So I'll have an opportunity to do like maybe 3 non-Voyager episodes, but I gotta get on the ball for the last 9 episodes of the Voyager celebration. Because next year, yes, we were cheated out of a 3rd season. Netflix decided not to renew it. And that's really disappointing because I think the show could have handled at least 1 more season. I think personally, I think Netflix, I think the downside to Prodigy being canceled again was because Netflix decided to release all 20 episodes at once. If they had split it up into 2 10-episode parts, I think the show probably could have been renewed. So could have been renewed. Because if they did because it was all last July. It was all July 1st. It was all 20 episodes at once. If they had split it up, saying like they do 10 episodes on July 1st, and then maybe the last 10 episodes on January 1st of this year. Yes. Come January, Netflix won't have anything to do with Prodigy. Maybe someone will buy it. Maybe. Or give it a future. Yeah, that could be possibly too. That's a good possibility. I think what I'm thinking is going to happen, and this is, fingers crossed. Yeah, fingers crossed about that too, Ed. My suspicion is going to be once the license expires on January 1st. So the license expires January 1st. So I have a feeling that Paramount's probably going to put it back on Paramount Plus. And then they can lay claim to the fact again that all Star Trek is on Paramount Plus. Because with the merger happening and wanting to put more Star Trek content out there, I have a feeling that Paramount Plus could potentially put it back on the service, the 2 seasons of Prodigy, and that'll be maybe they'll get a 3rd season, maybe they won't, maybe we'll get a Prodigy movie or something like that. But then Skydance said we're not doing any more made for streaming films, so maybe that's in the pipe. Maybe it's a pipe dream for that, but it did end pretty well. Prodigy did end well. So if it is just the 40 episodes and that's it, I can live with it. But I wish we would have at least 1 more season. At least 1 more. But that's just me. But that's what I'm thinking. So I am probably talking out of my ass with regarding that. All right. Well, enough about that. Let's talk about the latest episode of Strange New Worlds. Yeah, you're not alone. Yeah. let's talk about today's episode of Strange New Worlds. 4.5 Vulcans. Now, as I had said on the Instagram post I put yesterday, I had actually gone into the episode actually watching one of the hosts of Strange New Pod. Her name is Giraffe. And I think if I mispronounced her name, I'm so sorry. But she had watched the episode and said that I'm not going to be joining Strange New Pod this week. And she had a legitimate reason why, because I am. Thank you. Oh, I am. Thank you, Ed. I didn't know if I was, because it's spelled differently than a normal the name of the animal. So I had gone into the episode reading, because I had seen those videos on Thursday, and that's when the episode aired, was Thursday. And I watched both parts of her video. So if you haven't got a chance to yet, go watch her videos on Instagram. Because she said she wasn't going to be a part of Strange New Pod this week. And I wanted to, definitely change my opinion. I mean, I was going to go into it with an open mind about it, because this is actually the clip that everyone saw last year. This was the 3-minute clip that everyone saw at last year's Comic-Con, with Pike, Uhura, La'an, and Chapel all turning into Vulcans. Now, we didn't know the context behind it. Now we do. It's because of a secret mission to repair some equipment on a primitive planet. But I had actually watched her videos first, and I had read comments on the various reviews from various news sources, like Trek News and Trek Movie, and I only read the comments on Trek Core's review of it. But I didn't go into this episode with an open mind, and it's not a regret of mine. Actually, I was going to say I regret that, but I'm not. But after watching her videos and then watching it for myself to understand what she was coming from, I completely agree with what she said. This episode was very, it was funny in spots. I will give free props to the way Rebecca Romaine as Una Chin Riley and Patton Oswalt as Doug the Vulcan. Definitely, that was funny. I will give free props to that. That it was funny for those two to interact. Doug was awesome. Yes, Doug was awesome. Patton Oswalt makes his second appearance in Star Trek. He had been the voice of Spot 47 in the Picard episode Penance. Doug is punk. I love that. But I love that. I love the awkwardness between those two characters. I really do. And I really did enjoy the post-credit sequence with Spock and Doug. That was funny. But how much cheese? A lot of cheese. Yes. I actually love that. I actually love that, and the post-credit sequence with Spock and Doug. I also loved I love the awkwardness between Doug and Una. But the rest of it, I actually agree with what Giraffe had said. Her videos, 2 parts. She was very offended by it, because the half part, because she's biracial. I'm speaking as a white cisgendered man, but I am speaking as a person who actually gives a shit. I'm sorry, I don't mean to swear right there, but yeah. Oh, really? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. If you go check out his My Figure Universe Ed's post, was that on Instagram, Ed? Because if it is, yeah, I'm gonna shout you out there because the fan animated duck was shared yesterday by Patton Oswalt's wife. Oh, that is really cool. That is really cool. Is that on Instagram? So if anybody is watching and I mean James, if you're watching this right now, you can go check out his Instagram and see it. Oh, it's everything. It's on everything. Okay, it was everywhere. Oh wow, that's awesome, Ed. That's awesome. Yeah, but yeah, that is awesome. Yeah, but her opinion did. I went into that with her opinion in mind, with the episode with her opinion in mind, and I actually happen to agree 100% with what you said because it was very insulting to people who are biracial like her. Um, and and I, while the concept is if it had been executed better, I think probably it probably wouldn't have been that insulting, but it wasn't. So, Ed, you had said at the beginning of this when I started doing these live streams, you said they were going up with the serious and down with the lighthearted episodes. Well, unfortunately, oh, we have a missing person alert. That's what happened. If you heard that little buzzing, but so it was going up with the serious this season and down with the lighthearted episodes. However, after going steady with episodes like the Sailor who ate its tail and what is Starfleet, unfortunately, this season has crashed in terms of the quality. And I unfortunately am gonna yeah, I assume that we'll get an upsync. That's why I'm hoping for the last two episodes 8, 9, and 10, because this was definitely a crash, and this is something that I kind of am. Yeah, at least the writers are paying attention to what we're saying. Yeah, I'm hoping that they are, because personally, after watching this episode, I do understand where she was coming from, and I do understand that it was very insulting, and I happen to agree it was from a person who had lived through the George Floyd. We all lived through the George Floyd riots, but I lived through it more personally because I live in Minneapolis. So, and that was 5 years ago, and it was, and we have a lot of social reckoning and racial reckoning in this country that needs to be um, resolved the right way. Yeah. Oh, really? I have to go check it out. I mean, I'll have to go check it out. He said I shared something with what they posted yesterday. Okay, I'm glad they're listening to the fans. Then I'm glad to listen because this was a definite misstep for Star Trek. Um, I mean, I probably could have excused it, but it's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. Yeah, if you can find a link, did they post it on social media, Ed? James Rowan asked, "Do you have a link to that?" Um, if they do, if they had, that'd be great. Because if they did listen to the fans, they probably. Oh, okay. Hold on. Okay, all right. So, but while Ed finds it and shares it, um, I think this was a misstep for Star Trek, and it's a shame that it's in 2025 as opposed to say 1988 or 87, because I compared this episode to some of the worst episodes of Star Trek that have been made over the years, ones that have been retroactively called insulting, such as Code of Honor and Angel One from The Next Generation. And because I consider those two episodes to be, for Code of Honor, the most racist episode of Star Trek, and for Angel One being the one of the most sexist, because it was, I mean, the concepts are there. The concepts are there. It's just executed wrong. And this is an episode that was had an interesting premise. Yes, you can, Ed. He said, "Can I share the link here?" Yes, yes, you can. You can share the link in the chat. I don't care. Um, but definitely, this was an episode that was a step back in terms of, because I personally believe that Star Trek should be a beacon of diversity and equity and inclusion. Yeah, but that is because it was made that way. That was because, okay, James said almost every Ferengi episode in Deep Space Nine are more sexist. Yeah, but that was because the Ferengi were sexist creatures. That's different. I personally believe Angel One was more sexist than the Ferengi episodes of Deep Space Nine. So, and that's my personal opinion about it. I mean, because it's just the concepts of both Code of Honor and Angel One are there. It's just executed wrong. Oh yeah, yeah. I guess you're right. The first appearance of the Grand Nagus assaulted Kira and no one raised a concern. Yeah, I guess you're right, James. I didn't think about that. Yeah, the Nagus was definitely, yeah, but yeah, I guess, but the character did react to it. So I think if I remember correctly, um, she did react to his misogyny. So yes, it was played for laughs. Yes, worse, it was played for laughs. That is true. But if I remember correctly, Kira did actually react to that. So I guess that's probably why. Yeah, yeah. Cisco didn't do a darn thing about it either. But I think, if I remember correctly from that episode of Deep Space Nine, I think she reacted to it, and Cisco didn't really say a thing because she reacted the way she was supposed to. So, and that's probably why no one said anything. But I guess you're right. I didn't think about that. I have to rewatch it, so I'll have to rewatch it someday, and go like, oh, okay, you're probably right. All right. But this, like I said, definitely a misstep for Star Trek, and it's a shame it's in 2025 that there are some people who, I mean, the biracial part of the episode was played for a joke, and that's no joke. That shouldn't be a joke. Period. Yes, it is played for humor. Yes, but I think people. Yeah, James said the Ferengi sexism is played for humor. Yeah, I think it was, and I think it's because people understand. I think people understand that they were trying to make a point about it, but that the Ferengi are sexist people. But I think that's like some kind of hidden message there. But I could be wrong. But again, this is I mean, there's a lot of evolutions in storytelling since the 90s when the Nagus first aired on Deep Space Nine, which was now 32 years ago. So, but I'm thinking that definitely, I'm not sure, but we have evolutions in storytelling since then for Star Trek. And I just wanted to say that personally because I think this was a major misstep. And I don't think, I'm hoping that the series can recover from this because, yeah, which can be taken as diminishing the actions of that behavior. Yeah. Yeah, it was played for laughs. Yeah, James, you're right. It was played for laughs. The sexism of the Ferengi on Deep Space Nine was definitely played for laughs because, because if I remember correctly, Armin Shimmerman was determined to change the way the Ferengi were in the next generation. So from wild animals to a respectable race. But besides the fact, Strange New Worlds should have really, I mean, the writers behind the episode, especially showrunner Henry Alonzo Myers, who co-wrote the episode, um, should have been more cognizant of the fact that he wrote an episode that could have been seen as very insulting to many people, and I'm glad to see that they're acknowledging that fact from what Ed's telling us. So, excuse me. Um, but I'm glad to see that happen because I'm glad to see they're acknowledging it. Yeah. Do you have the link still in? Because I'm curious to know what it's about. So, but I'm hoping with episodes 9 and 10 that the series can recover from this blow. Because while the concept of 4.5 Vulcans is sound, because we get a reverse comedy episode with humans becoming Vulcans instead of Spock becoming human, as it was before. Follow that guy. Is that the name of the? Is it follow me or is it follow that guy? Like who? What do you mean by that? I'm sorry. Follow me. Oh, was it Henry Alonzo Myers, the showrunner? So yeah. Or is it the other one? Um, the co-writer. I forgot his name now, but I knew it was Henry Alonzo Myers who co-wrote it. No, the link. Oh, yeah, yeah. Let's see here. Did they actually acknowledge it? Hmm. Yeah. Um. No, the link. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm trying to understand what you meant by follow that guy, but but that's beside the fact. So the episode to me was very insulting, and I posted a very brief review about it, and people were going like, "I don't see your point," and stuff like that. I would hope to see that people were more involved and understood, and I'm glad that most people did understand. I mean, I like I said, I went into the episode with giraffes videos about it, and didn't, and I had seen. Oh, I was talking about the writer from Strange New Worlds that acknowledged the bread press this previous episode was getting. I sent the link into the comments all about the writer, so people could follow. Okay, um, all right, that's great, Ed. I'm glad they're acknowledging that. I'm actually glad because the episode is a mixed bag. And I am feeling like this is a mixed bag. Because this I am hopeful for the last 2 episodes of season 3 to be better than this one. Like I said, all these like really strange and odd episodes of Star Trek that could be like I said, Code of Honor, Angel One, this episode, other ones like that, Move Along Home. I remember seeing people commenting saying this is their version of Move Along Home or Spock's Brain. The concept is there. The concept is there, folks. The story is sound. It's just executed wrong. And this was an episode that was executed. The concept of Pike, Uhura, La'an, and Chapel becoming Vulcans was sound. It's just, and it was played for laughs. I mean, I think Pike being a Vulcan was kind of funny at points, but especially when they're having the dinner with Patel and that Vulcan. that bald Vulcan, whatever his name is. I forgot his name, S something. But I don't remember his name. I don't remember the character's name because it's just forgettable. But with Batel being blunt with him, got her a promotion. That is actually pretty cool, and that's pretty much what I think was gonna. I didn't know what was gonna happen. I mean, with Batel, with her Gorn DNA and stuff like that, was she gonna be the Gorn cat? Didn't you feel it was more mocking of the so-called pure Vulcans? I think that's what the point was of the episode, but it's just I don't know. It just felt off, and the whole episode felt off. I mean, I liked certain parts of it. Like I said, I liked the awkwardness with Doug and Una. I didn't see the behavior towards Spock as funny, more open bigotry. Yeah, I mean, he actually said Vulcans can be jerks. So, and he actually said, yeah, bald. Yeah, thank you, Admiral Pasalk. Thank you. I thank you. Thank you, Ed. I had forgotten his name. I thought it was something with an S, but it was P. Thank you, Admiral Pasalk. So, um, I really think that I have to be really harsh with this episode of my. I do it on a 5 scale, 1 out of 5, and this was definitely probably. I'm gonna be a little bit nice to it and give it a 2 out of 5. And I'm being very, very nice to it. I could have easily said 0, but the scenes with Doug, yeah, I know, James. I have to be somewhat harsh with this one. I have been given a 4.5 or 5 all season. You guys don't know what it started with. I can give like a really quick one. Um, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 because of the camera angles were a little bit off, but that was it. But I have to be a little harsh to this one, unfortunately, because it just feels like this is a misstep. And I I am a huge defender of this era of Star Trek. I have been since Star Trek Discovery started airing. Oh, you give it a 3? Yeah, I have to be a little bit more harsh because of that biracial issue that I have. But I have to get but there were some good parts of it. The Doug and Una thing was great. The post-credit sequence with Spock and Doug was great. I mean, Patton Oswalt is great as Doug. I mean, he kind of salvaged the show a little bit, but um, I think like I said before, yes, Discovery got so undeserved shit. It was wild. Yes, it was. It was very undeserved. Undeserved. All of it was undeserved because I think Discovery is actually the best Star Trek show of this era because not only I can handle the serialization, but and I do like the serialization of Star Trek Discovery. I think the main champion of Discovery is its cast. Yes, probably from those who didn't watch it. Yes, and it was mainly people who didn't watch it. Or maybe here's what I think about Discovery. Discovery is great. The diversity of its cast is its strong point. And that's what I feel about Star Trek Discovery. I don't the space sonar crap. Yeah, clearly said it was kind of sonar in space. Yeah, I remember when people went crazy over the fact. I think Discovery had a lot of things going against it, from the beginning. It was not necessarily. It was when the decision was made to not put it on Netflix in the United States. I think that's where the anger really started. Is when Paramount, when then CBS had said we're going to put it on all access in the United States and have Netflix everywhere else. That angered a lot of fans. And then when the first trailer came out not the preview trailer with the Discovery itself, but the one with the live action with Michelle Yeoh, and the visual, the very full trailer that was in May of 2017. A lot of people were going like, this was not. Yeah. I wish Discovery would have focused on the extended crew some more than it did, but in the end, I loved them all. Yeah, I think the Klingon redesign was the next big thing they hated. Yeah, they pulled it back a little bit. Yes, they did, and they're gonna be Klingons in Star Trek and Starfleet Academy too. So hybrid Klingons actually. So a couple of them are gonna be. So I'm kind of curious about this Jem'Hadar and Klingon hybrid person. I've always said, because this era is because I think I've said it somewhere else, but I think Discovery went to the 31st century, 32nd century, was because of the fans who screamed bloody murder about it. That it wasn't, it didn't feel, it's kind of weird that people are still, and that's personally how I'm feeling, that people are still, yeah, yeah. Oh, I'm trying to get back. But yeah, anger walking management issues. Yeah, but it's one of the newer characters for Starfleet Academy. So a Jem'Hadar Klingon hybrid, and by this era, by the 32nd century, apparently a lot of the main species that we knew from the 24th century have gotten in bed with each other, and mixed their DNA. Because I remember, what's her name, President. Oh, what's her name now? Uh, Choya Horsdal's character. Um, Rilek, Rilek, Rilek. Oh, I almost forgot it. She was Cardassian, human, and Bajoran. So that's I think the beauty of Star Trek Discovery is its cast, and the Discovery was all about Michael Burnham. Um, if you took the subtitle literally, it was pretty much Michael Burnham discovering herself as, I mean, from committing mutiny to to eventually being redeemed and eventually becoming captain and eventually admiral. I always wanted to know what the prophets were up to at the end of Discovery. Yeah, that would have been interesting to see that happen. I mean, have a little tie into DS9 a little bit, but we'll have some DS9 connections in Starfleet Academy. So, with like I said, with that Jem'Hadar Klingon hybrid person, I forgot the character's name, but that's okay. It doesn't matter right now because the main focus is on Strange New Worlds. And when Starfleet Academy starts airing next year, we'll definitely do more live streams and stuff like that. Because that's the beauty of doing live streams, is like you do it with new episodes of Star Trek, and I like that. Yeah, so I give it yeah, I like it. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, Ed. I because I think discussing it on the week it airs is better than recording it and releasing it 1 week later. Um, because it just feels off to me if I did that, because that's just me as my brain works, and so it's the way my thing works. So I'm gonna try to wrap this up now because I'm getting close to the end. I try to do it between 30 and 45 minutes. I know we went a little bit more than that, but that's okay. I'm happy that the both of you were on today. You, Ed, and you, James, from Read Binge It. And I hope you guys join us again next week when we talk about episode 9 of season 3. And yeah, have a great everyday weekend, everybody. And this live stream will have its audio version on Tuesday, and then episode 98 we'll go back a little bit, talk about what is Starfleet and those pitches for Star Trek. Oh, that's okay, James. It's fine. That's the beauty of doing a podcast. You can go off the rails. I say I keep heading off topic. That's okay. I went off topic too. But yeah, so we're gonna be trying to this audio version will be available on Tuesday, and I'm gonna try to do episode 98 by Friday, and we'll get that out there for you to all listen to. So until next week, take care and live long and prosper.